Hi Mr. Waite. This video will show you how to set up your machine and get it running. First of all, it's a great machine. It's an old, I believe it's a Tokia Sangyo machine. This particular one didn't have a sticker on it with the expiration date, so I'm aging it based on other machines that I have to be somewhere probably between 1955 and 1960. I wanted to go over several things for your machine, how to set it up, and some things that you may encounter with it. The first is, of course, you'll need to put the glass back in when you get it back. There is a groove at the top that you'll slide the glass down, but first we're going to turn around and look at the back. And in the top here, there's a little latch, and what you're going to need to do is slide it over to the right and then pull it out, and there's a notch, and then you push it back to the left, and that notch holds it in place so you can put the glass in through the top. Once it's in, you can then move this back over to the right and let go, and that'll keep the glass inside the machine. Now when you put the glass in, there's a couple things you want to be careful of. First, depending on how thick your glass is, this one is really a snug fit, so you're going to want to have it go down evenly. Takes just a little bit of working to find the groove. And then as you're bringing it down, it'll just miss the nails, especially on the spinners. And then this metal right here, this curved metal, you might have to push that back a little bit as we get to it. And we drop it all the way down. Okay, and now we can do the latch and back. Here's a close-up of the latch for the glass. So you can see that notch. I'm pulling it up. It's got a spring, and I fit it in that notch. Now I could pull the glass out. If I drop this back in, now the glass is locked in place. Also, the way your machine is designed, there's no key or anything, but you do have a couple of wing nuts, one on each side, and if you were to take these off, then that screw could come out of that latch, and there's one on the other side, and then your machine could come away from this frame here. So this frame would stay on the stand, and then the machine portion with all the back would come, lean it forward at the top, and then you could slide it out at the bottom, because at the bottom there's just a couple of notches in the wood. Right under here, and right under here is a notch, and you can just lift it up. You won't ever really need to do that, shouldn't need to do that for your home use. So after you put the glass in, here are the quick steps to get your machine up and running to play. The rest of the video will go over lots more about the mechanics of the machine. If in shipment, this lever here is in the wrong position, so this track here should be tilted up. There's a little piece of metal here, I'll zoom in on it. There's a little metal here on a nail, and it swings. You just want to swing it up and out of the way. So this can pivot. The next thing you want to do is put your seesaw in the correct position. This is your one-ball seesaw. Currently it's in the down position. It'll never pay out, and it won't work in that position, so you just need to move it with your hand. It's got a couple balls in there as counterweights. Flip it up, and now it's in the correct position. Now you can add balls to the top of the machine, to your supply tray. Put a bucket down here, and your machine is ready to play. And then we'll test it by dropping a few balls in the machine. And we can see that they rolled across and stopped, so that's good. Now we'll go ahead and put some more in so that there's enough to back all the way up here and cover this. Now we've added balls. Now if we were to start to play right now, the very first time we got a jackpot, nothing would happen, because the balls, when you get a jackpot, that they're in this assembly here, and as you get the jackpot, they'll pay out. So there's no balls in here yet. So we're going to go ahead and manually activate a jackpot the very first time, and all it'll do is it'll take the balls in here, and they'll drop down, hit this, it'll tilt down, roll through here, and then they'll fill up this assembly. So we're going to activate a jackpot, and to do that it's a little tricky. I'm going to move on down to the bottom. I'm going to zoom in. There is, you can kind of see that little curved piece there, there's a little point. I can push that aside, and as I push it aside, there is a little pin right here, and I can pull that pin down and let it swing back up. I'll zoom in on that on another angle. Okay, since we just did it once, it loaded balls into the jackpot. I'm now going to push this over to the side again, and then because what's happening there, you can kind of see at the top, right back here, if you were to get a jackpot, a ball would come down and it would hit that lever, and the ball, the weight of the ball would push this aside. Then that ball would land right on top of the shovel back there, and then that would cause it to tilt. And as the ball dropped down, it moves all the levers and your jackpot pays out. Okay, now we'll launch the ball, but first some information about it. The way your machine is designed, the ball will go up around the track, and you want it to fall, and depending on how far down you pull the flipper, you want to try and get it to fall in the middle, or over on this side, or over here, to try and get it in the pockets. If you pull it down too far, it'll actually come across, enter into this lane, and circle back, and it'll either come up part way and roll back down for you to shoot again, or it might make two loops and come out and fall. So let's take a look at that. So I just pulled it a little bit and it dropped right here. Let's put one in and let's go full strength. Okay, so I went full strength and it almost made 2 revolutions. So I'll go about halfway. Okay, here's the back of your machine. As I pull on the flipper, you can see this arm going back. And here's the spring it's attached to. It goes across a roller, and it goes all the way back behind here, and then there's a nail here, and this little metal has several holes on it. So you can pick it up off of that nail, you can see those holes, and you can move it to a different hole to adjust the tension. So if you want the ball to shoot harder, you would move it more this way. And if you want the ball to not go as far, then you could move it the other way. Okay, I've taken the glass out. I wanted to show you what happens. If you get a ball in this top pocket, it will roll behind the wood, and then it'll come out right here, and it'll drop in, and it'll hit this yellow portion, and it'll spin down, and then deposit the ball in the back and do your pay out a jackpot. It won't pay out a jackpot because I don't have it loaded with balls, but let's go ahead and drop a ball in, and it spins. Same is true if it's just bouncing around the play field and it just bounces and hits here. It could drop and spin. One of the ways you'll know that you need to fill your top supply tray with balls is this window in the top corner here. I'm going to add balls. So you can see they're going by, but I don't have enough yet because it's not full. It's starting to fill up. Okay. I could actually even put in some more, but here's a good visual indicator. If you don't see any balls here, then you need to fill up your supply tray.